Welcome, Bitcoin fam, to the #1 Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. We just hit a new record Bitcoin hash rate. Also, Bitcoin's highest monthly close of all closing monthly histories of 104,646 as the bull run continues. We'll also be discussing auction of Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht's items nets over 1.8 million plus an anonymous $30 million donation. That's right. We'll also be discussing Michael Saylor posted the Saylor Bitcoin tracker. Every time he does this, it's a precursor to a big announcement of a massive Bitcoin purchase, which will most likely be announced tomorrow. Also, France charges 25 over crypto kidnapping spree in Paris. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin advocate High Priest Max Kaiser casts doubt over new Bitcoin Treasury companies. We'll also be discussing Michael Saylor shoots his shot for the Joe Rogan spot. Says, let's talk about Bitcoin and tags Joe Rogan. We'll also be discussing the Bank of England on the brink of buying Bitcoin, according to Michael Saylor himself. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. So if you are new to the channel, it's very important. Smash the likes. Go ahead, subscribe. #1 Daily Bitcoin Pod. Ring the bell. Turn on all notifications. That way you receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week, including Sunday fun days when church is in session, like today. Today is pod episode 2009. I'm your fearless host, JV, alongside my co-host, Nippinator, former chairman of the SEC. And happy first of the month. It's June 1st, and we just had the highest monthly close in Bitcoin history, and the hash rate has hit yet another all-time high. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day, pulling up Coin 360, pretty little bitty, back in the green. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. That's all I'm going to say. 105.1, while the majority of the market's correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap currently sits at a whopping 3.28 trillion. The all-time high is actually 3.75 trillion. And the Bitcoin market cap today is 2.086 trillion. We have 87 billion worth of volume past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance 63.6% back on the rise. Ether dominance back on the decline at 9.3. Well, I dare say it's been on the rise of the past few weeks, but you know what I mean. And check it out. Top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We got Flare leading the pack, up almost 7%, followed by Volta, up 3%, followed by the Pudgy Penguins, up 3.5%. Very modest gains for those in the green as the majority of the market's correcting. And in the red, let me know which alts you're currently bullish on for the bull. Holla. And let me know in that chat. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. I dare say 70-30. Green, red over green. And zooming out for the weekly, I'd say 95% of the market Rec City. And zooming out for the monthly, pretty divided. I'd say maybe 50-50 green and red. But there you have it. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index, today we're 56. Yesterday we were neutral, dead in the middle, 50. Last week 74, and last month a 67 in greed. And checking out the infamous time chain calendar. As of today, we have 150,615 blocks into the halving of 2028, and we're currently on block number 899,385. This week will surpass block number 900,000 as we inch closer and closer to the seven-figure block height of 1 million, which will be here before you know it. And with that being shared, as of today, you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 952 sats. So you know what to do, gentlemen. You pick up the sats, put down the gats, and pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at BitcoinCaps.net. But anyways, fam, let's go ahead and transition into our TA, aka astrology for the broskies. We're just going to be pulling up some of the live charts as well as what's happening in the markets right now. Let's first start right here, and then we'll look at the charts. New record Bitcoin hash rate. I wouldn't dare try to pretend to understand how to pronounce this particular number, but it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 commas in it. Yeah, and you already know Bitcoin price follows the hash rate. Also, as Plan B points out here, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model, Bitcoin's May close was 104,646, which makes it the official highest monthly close in Bitcoin history. So Q2 thus far has not been disappointing. We had a very bullish April, a very bullish May, and hopefully the bulls can continue here in the month of June, now that it is officially June 1st. But now let's pull up some of the live charts. We'll do a little live chart action, Jackson satisfaction for the Bitty Broskies, of course. And let me actually switch out the chat from the Rumble to the YouTube. One moment. There we go. That way you guys can interact with me here. So yeah, and keep the comments coming. For those that don't know, there's a live and interactive show. And to participate with the live chat, just join the YouTube channel. Simple. CryptoNewsAlerts.net. But here, let's start with the 1 hour chart and we'll work our way backwards. No particular targets here, but we have been climbing. You can see a little stairways scenario playing out here. And zooming out from the 1 hour, we're going to take a look at the 4 hour. We did have a $116,000 target printed just the other day, and that may have changed a bit. So let's take a look. So that's the daily. I'm looking for the 4 hour. Here's the 4 hour chart. It should be coming up on your screen. So yeah, 4 hour bullish pennant, very bullish as well. This morning we started pumping again. We did correct over the weekend for the most part. And also we're still sitting on that 116.3 bullish pennant formation sensation, particularly here on the 4 hour. So looking pretty bullish overall, and working our way backwards, taking a look at the daily. The daily chart, you can see already forming a nice green candle on the day. Yesterday, I think, was green as well. So, you know, we started pumping after the dumpage over the previous days. No particular bull targets on the daily. So let's zoom it out a little further. Take a look at a weekly, which we should still have the sexy cup and handle target, which has been there for months, sitting at 124,000, which I dare say is most likely going to be the next leg up once we can break through this firmament at 112, which is the current price discovery level achieved on May 22nd, about a week and a half ago, which we captured live and in the flesh during our pump watch. And I can't wait for the next Bitty pump watch. But yeah, rising wedgie, the only wedgie I approve of. And we do have a bull target as well on the weekly, sitting at the 124, which is the cup and handle target. And obviously, you know, what's most bullish here is we had 7 green consecutive weekly candle closes, and unfortunately that 7-week run is going to come to an end as we get a close in roughly an hour or two during the live stream, and we have a red candle. So unfortunate, but hey, 7 weeks of bullishness is not too shabby. We get one corrective week. Hopefully the bulls can continue and we can resume, hit the next leg up, price discovery all-time high. You already know. And zooming out from the weekly, we'll take a quick look at the monthly, JV. And the indicator says, Nippinator, it's going up forever, JV. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. This is going to be our 3rd consecutive month if the bulls can resume for the month of June. Obviously, November was the most bullish month we've had in Bitcoin history. Then we had a corrective month, and then, you know, barely green, 2 correctives, now 2 green. So we'll see. Flip a coin. You let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price action will likely take us next, as I believe there's just 1 month left for the second quarter before we transition into Q3. Auction of Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht's items net over 1.8 million. But the thing that got my attention was last night, founder of Silk Road, Ross Ulbricht, just received 300 Bitcoin worth 31 million. So someone allegedly donated him $31 million. I mean, holy shit. So some people are saying he sent it to himself. I think it's irrelevant. I think the man deserves it. I mean, he was only falsely imprisoned for 11 years of his life over some bullshit, and he is a legend and an OG. So if he was able to hold on to Bitcoin from since the Silk Road days, God bless him. I mean, but it is what it is. Let's break this down a little deeper. And you guys let me know if you're able to watch his speech from the conference. An auction of personal belongings from Silk Road founder Ross has brought in more than 1.8 million worth of Bitcoin as collectors vied for pieces of crypto history. Ulbricht, who was pardoned by Trump earlier in the year, I believe that was day 2 of his presidency, offered a range of items through Bitcoin-only marketplace Scarce City. The collection included personal effects from before before his 2013 arrest, such as a sleeping bag, backpack, and a drum, as well as prison memorabilia like a lock, notebook, clothing, and several paintings created while incarcerated. Quoting Ross here, "I've left Arizona, the state where I was in prison. It's time to travel. That means downsizing and turning the page," he wrote. "I don't need the reminders, and I am sure some of y'all will love to have them." So it's like a rare Pokemon card. It's like collecting a rare Charizard. One of the standout pieces, Albrick's final prison ID card for 11 Bitcoin. Imagine buying his prison ID for 1.1 million or 11 Bitcoin. Wild. That's my God frequency there, 11. "The guard tried to get me to stop smiling for the photo, but my joy comes from within." So apparently he's smiling in the photo. "So I smiled that day. He must have knew he was going to get 11 Bitcoin for that smile." Just saying. Here's the infamous card. And ironic, Charlie Shrem, who was also, prison with some lawfare bullshit back in the day. He still has his inmate card. He did a post on X about it earlier. Maybe you should put that up for auction, Charlie. Maybe you'll get some biddies. But anyways, a collaborative painting by Albrick and a fellow prisoner known as Omega. Hinting for the Omega candle. Also drew attention, securing a bid of 1 Bitcoin. "It gave me that feeling it can pass it through. Something better would be on the other side." In order to participate in the auction, bidders had to deposit 1% of their bid as collateral. Last-minute bids also reset the countdown timer to ensure fair competition. Final payments must be completed by tomorrow, June 2nd, with Bitcoin preferred, though smaller PayPal payments were also accepted. Ironic they be auctioning this stuff off using PayPal versus just sending them some Bitcoin. But in addition to raising 1.8 million from the auction, Albrick may have access to millions in Bitcoin. Coinbase director Connor Rogan recently highlighted approximately 430 Bitcoin, valued now at 47 million, remains in the wallets, likely tied to Albrick. Again, God bless them. "These wallets have been inactive for 13 years, hence HODL be thy name. They were never seized by the authorities." Quoting Grogan here, "I found 430 Bitcoin across dozens of wallets associated with Ross that were not confiscated by the government and had been untouched for 13 years. Also, blockchain analytics firm Arcam confirmed Grogan's assessment, tracing 14 Bitcoin addresses connected to the Silk Road. One of those wallets alone holds more than 9 million in BTC. So again, if I was to guess, he probably is worth at least, obviously, tens of millions of dollars just based upon the recent donations. And if he's holding all of those Bitcoins allegedly tied to him back from the Silk Road days, that he could be potentially worth, who knows, $100 million, or definitely an ultra high net worth individual, which is defined by someone worth 30 million or more in liquid assets. If you have it in Bitcoin, that's considered a liquid asset, just FYI. $30 million donation plus raising 1.8 million from his prison items. We're going to continue with the latest from the Giga Chad, Mr. Michael Saylor. And also, there was a kidnapping. We're going to dive into this as well. But first, let's just share this. Michael Saylor posted the Bitcoin tracker. He's been doing this virtually every week for the last 3 months, every Sunday, which is a precursor or a pre-framing that they just purchase a shit ton of Bitcoin, which they will make the announcement tomorrow, which is like clockwork. So Strategy always announces another Bitcoin purchase the next day. And of course, orange is Michael Saylor's preferred color. You can say that again. But anyways, next big story of the day, fam. France charges 25 individuals over crypto kidnapping spree in Paris. In fact, Paris is my least favorite city from my Euro trip. When I traveled I think I spent 30 or so days consecutively in Europe, traveling all over. Did not really enjoy Paris. I mean, going up the Eiffel Tower was decent, but it feels like a fallen city or like a fallen country in general, France. It just wasn't a good look. But anyways, I digress. You guys let me know your thoughts being in Paris. French authorities have charged 25 individuals, including 6 minors, over a series of kidnappings and attempted abductions linked to the country's crypto sector. The group, aged between 16 and 23, so these are youngins, hooligans, I dare say, face charges connected to multiple plots targeting prominent crypto figures and their families. Le Monde reported, citing an announcement from the Paris Public Prosecutor's Office, May 31st, which was yesterday. Per the report, 18 suspects are now in pretrial detention. 3 have requested a deferred hearing and 4 remain under judicial supervision. The investigation centers on a failed May 13 abduction attempt in Paris, 11th arrondissement. The targets were the daughter of the grandson of Pierre Noziat, the CEO of French crypto exchange Payminum. As outlined here, obviously it's in French, but there's a video showing you the kidnapping. Authorities say this was not even the first attempt. A similar failed plot was staged the previous day. Days later, police also foiled another operation near Nantes. Now, footage of the May 13 incident circulated widely on social media showed 4 masked attackers assaulting Noziat's daughter, her husband, and their child. The victims suffered minor injuries and were treated at the hospital. The suspects reportedly came from a wide range of backgrounds, including individuals born in the Paris region, Châtellerault, Senegal, Angola, and Russia. Many of them were described by defense lawyers as young profiles lured by money and caught in a situation beyond their control. No excuses. The Paris case is part of the broader rise of crypto-related kidnappings. It seems to be getting more and more popular. High-profile incidents include the January abduction of the Ledger co-founder and his partner, as well as the May 1st kidnapping, which we covered, of the father of the crypto millionaire, an incident investigators say is linked to the current wave of attacks. And thus far, police have arrested the lower-level operatives and logistic coordinators. And remember in that story we shared the other day that there were basically crooked cops on the take, and that was the New York City case. So trust nobody, bro. The masterminds behind the plots remain unidentified. The growing threat has drawn national attention. France's Interior Minister Bruno met with crypto industry professionals mid-May to discuss protective measures. The ministry later announced enhanced cooperation between the law enforcement and the crypto firms, including home security checks conducted by police. Like, that's going to make someone feel safer, the police checking on their houses. Jeez Louise. I say you get the hell out of there if you don't feel safe. And as reported, issuers are racing to develop new protections aimed at the growing physical threat, kidnapping for crypto. And that story we read the other day with the corrupt New York cops, dude was like basically beaten and tortured for 17 days, electrocuted. They had chainsaws. It almost sounded like Tony Montana, man, a political refugee from Cuba. But at least 3 firms specialized in crypto insurance and security are now preparing tailored kidnap and ransom policies. Why does that seem so sus? But anyways, likewise, executives and investors of the crypto industry are increasingly seeking personal security services. You know what the best bet is? Don't brag about how much crypto you or your family may or may not own. It's best to be incognito for security purposes, because what's worth, let's just hypothetically say $1 million today, it doesn't sound like a lot. That can maybe buy you a decent house in America, but that's going to be worth 5, 10, 100 million in the years to come. So if you publicly put out that information, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because people are willing to do bad things to people over a few $100s. There's crackheads that murder people all the time, I should say, on a live on the YouTube. For like $50, people are willing to do this crazy shit. So if you or your family is hypothetically worth millions, don't think they're not going to kidnap you or even have crooked cops on the take in on it. Anything can happen. So you lost it all in a boating accident. And that's all I got to say. Let me know your thoughts with this. But anyways, next story, yo. Here's the latest from Your Holiness, Max Kaiser, after the infamous freeze frame, of course. Headline here reads, Bitcoin advocate Max Kaiser cast doubt over the new Bitcoin Treasury companies and shut out His Holiness. I appreciate the repost on today's stream, brother. Max is the man if you haven't figured it out. And let's break this baby down. He says, Max recently cast doubt on the ability of newer Bitcoin treasury companies emulating the corporate Bitcoin reserve popularized by strategy co-founder Michael Saylor to maintain financial discipline during the protracted Biddy bear market. According to the Biddy maximalists, Saylor has weathered a previous bear market and continued to accumulate the Biddy with high conviction, a scenario that the newer Bitcoin Treasury companies have yet to encounter. Here's what Max wrote on May 30th. The strategy clones have not been tested in a bear market. Saylor never sold and just kept buying, even when his Bitcoin position was underwater. It's foolish to think the new Bitcoin Treasury strategy clones will have the same discipline. And also shout out to the Crypto Surge. He just gifted a membership of the channel to Billowette. So welcome, new member, and massive shout out to Surge. That's greatly appreciated. And you should be able to see, this was the tweet here from Max and dated timestamp May 30th, 9:46, got 118,000 views. Let me know if you agree, disagree that all these strategy clones aren't going to be able to replicate what Saylor did. Give me a yay or a nay. Strategy is the Bitcoin of all Bitcoin Treasury plays. Obviously, Max is a firm believer in Saylor and his company and what he's doing. Saylor's company, hence why he gives him Employee of the Month status. The company continues to garner attention from crypto and traditional financial investors alike, attracting the fresh capital flows and inspiring dozens of copycat companies to emerge. This proliferation of the Bitcoin Treasury companies can create a simulation or situation which 50% or more of the total Biddy supply is owned by the corporations. And I think right now it's like less than 3%. So we haven't even scratched the surface yet. More than 50% is actually held in the hands of like people like yourself, you know what I mean, which are the retail. And following a rapid rise in the price of the strategy stock, which saw shares of the company surge several times to an all-time high of $543. That's the strategy stock on November 21st. Dozens of other companies have since adopted and announced plans for their Bitcoin Treasury plan to protect the value of their reserves and increase the share price. In fact, on May 7th, Strive, an asset management firm founded by former political candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, announced it was becoming a Bitcoin Treasury company. Also, the recent announcement by Jack Mallers being the CEO of 21, backed by the likes of Howard Lutnick of Cantor Fitzgerald and USDT Tether, multi-billion-dollar conglomerate backings. We also have the Trump Media Group, the media an online tech company that partially owned by Trump. They just confirmed this week $2.5 billion raised to purchase Bitcoin on May 27th. Game on. Then we have the Japanese version of strategy, MetaPlanet, the company that previously adopted a Bitcoin Treasury plan, roughly trading at a Bitcoin premium at 600,000. Massive shout out to the Oracle. She just gave us a gift as well. I see all these gifts coming in, and gifted 5 memberships to the channel. I'll strike the gongs, or the gong strikes here in a minute for you guys. Much appreciated. This means investors are paying nearly 6 times as much for Bitcoin exposure through MetaPlanet than if they would have just simply purchased Bitcoin directly through the spot retail. This premium has raised alarm bells from some of the analysts who argue that these valuations are not sustainable. So let me know if you agree or disagree with Max Kaiser. Strategies in a league of their own, or do you think these other treasury companies will eventually, all follow in the footstep of Saylor? Holla, let me know, and I'll read your comments before we discuss Michael Saylor shoots his shot for the Rogan spot, and he tagged Joe Rogan, says, let's talk about Bitcoin, and then we'll give you the latest updates surrounding all that. So yeah, Oracle, that was very kind of you. I see we got a bunch of new memberships. First, it kicked off with Surge, so this gong strike is for Surge. He gifted a membership to Billowette from DC, so congratulations. Welcome to the MicroStrategy membership of the channel. Then we had the Oracle gift 5 memberships, so this gong strike is for the Oracle and all the new members. Congratulations, Corey, Bowden, Miles, Care, Quiet Man, Leroy, McCoy, and then Chandy as well. And then Oracle, another $10 super. So again, let me do it in the proper order. This gong strike again for the Oracle with the $10 super after gifting the memberships. And now Chandy 10 Music says we're going to give 5 memberships as well. This gong strike is for Chandy 10, #1 Bitcoin music content creator. And congratulations all the members that just been hooked up on behalf of Chandy. That includes the World Blockchain Capital, Franchi, Roofer, Bobby F, Keel, Laura. You've all been hooked up with the MicroStrategy membership of the channel on behalf of Chandy 10. So welcome all the new members. I'm loving it. You guys are awesome. Oh shit. And it is June 1st, which means I'm going to gift 10 memberships. So this is going to be a fantastic gifting day. Welcome, everyone, just joining us again. Let's continue with where we left off. Regarding Saylor being on Rogan, I proposed Max Kaiser go on the Joe Rogan Experience. I actually did a post about that yesterday. Personally, he's my favorite in Bitcoin, and I personally believe he's the best to do the job, and he has orange-pilled more than anyone else. Him and Stacy, of course, the dynamic duo via the Kaiser report, since early 2010, 2011, back in the old days, the OG days. Obviously, Saylor came late to the party. He didn't adopt the Bitcoin Treasury strategy, first publicly traded company to do so till 2020. He passed on Bitcoin in 2013, ironic enough. He said, Bitcoin's going to suffer the same fate as online gambling. And now look, online gambling and Bitcoin taking over the world. Can't make this shit up. But here you go. Saylor shoots his shot for the Rogan spot, says, let's talk about the pretty little bitty going up forever, Laura. That's right. Saylor has publicly expressed interest in discussing Bitcoin with podcaster Rogan. Now, the first OG Bitcoiner to ever go on the Joe Rogan Experience is Andreas Antonopoulos. Shout out, Andreas. But here's what Saylor said. Hey, Rogan, he tagged him on X. Let's talk about the pretty little bitty. And he said, who's one? That's in response to who's one guest you'd love to see Joe Rogan interview that he hasn't done yet. Let me know if you'd like to see that. Saylor post prompted speculation with the Bitcoin community. Popular Bitcoiner, the Bitcoin therapist, said this interview will shatter the internet. And then crypto analyst Cook shared that Saylor is going to Bitcoin pill Joe Rogan. Meanwhile, Brandon McDougall said, for the first time ever, I'll be watching a Joe Rogan podcast if Michael Saylor is there. So here's my two Satoshis, Saylor or Max and Stacy, either or. Let's make it happen on the Joe Rogan Experience. Can I get an amen? Now, Rogan, host of the JRE, has frequently discussed crypto and Bitcoin on the pod and has made several pro-Bitcoin comments over the years. In October 2023, the episode of Joe Rogan with OpenAI co-founder Sam Altman, grifter, said that Bitcoin fascinates him the most of all the cryptos. The real fascinating crypto is Bitcoin. That's the one I think has the most likely possibility of becoming a universal viable currency. It is limited in the amount that it can be. So I dare say Rogan must have already been orange pilled. I mean, he's had Andreas Antonopoulos already on the show, and he's not retarded, but I digress. I love the fact it is been implemented. The fact that it has been implemented. Will Michael Saylor go on the Joe Rogan podcast? Grok says 30% will say Saylor convinced Rogan to take the self-custody and talk about it publicly without another Bitcoin guest. Yes, 50%. Now, although Rogan has yet to respond to the Saylor public proposal, Rogan, what are you waiting on? Featuring a guest from the Bitcoin industry wouldn't be unfamiliar. Even in Bitcoin's early days, Rogan gave the topic airtime of the pod. This is what I'm referencing. Between 2014, 2016, Bitcoin entrepreneur Andreas Antonopoulos made several appearances on the Rogan pod when Bitcoin was still trading below 1,000. So shout out Andreas, a true OG. Saylor's firm strategy currently holds 580,000 of the bitty, worth approximately 60 billion at that time, according to the infamous Saylor tracker. Saylor's recent speculation of why Bitcoin price is not yet 150. He said holders without a long-term outlook have been selling off, while a new cohort of the investors are beginning to enter the market. Enter the Wu-Tang. Stack the bitty. I think we are going through a rotation right now. He shared on the Coin Stories pod with Natalie Brunell. Shout out Natalie. And shout out to the Coin Stories. And what are your thoughts with the Giga Chat of what he had to share there? Now, someone wrote unpopular opinion. Michael Saylor's not the best Bitcoiner to go on Joe Rogan. He is not even in the top 10. And then they list a bunch of people with all orange pill more people, and that's just off the top of the head. Love you long time, Saylor, but I got my reasons. So to be clear, Saylor going on Rogan is infinitely better than no Bitcoiner going on at all. Max responded, and he said, disagree. Saylor has shown extraordinary orange pilling ability. There is no second best. He has orange pilled almost as many as I have. No one's even close except Dylan LeClaire. And if you don't know, now you know. Chandy's jams are the bomb diggity bomb. Couldn't agree more. She is the greatest, I dare say. But anyways, Biddy family, you guys ready with the mom spaghetti? Let's do this. Now for our featured story of the day. The Bank of England is on the brink of buying the Bitcoin. This is according to the Giga Chad himself, Mikey Saylor, as you can see. right here on your screen. So let's break this baby down, shall we? And before we even dive deeper into the Bank of England buying Bitcoin, I want to give you a little background about the Bank of England, just in case you don't know. This is something Max Kaiser shared roughly over a decade ago, and I posted it and I transcribed it, and this is regarding the Bank of England, quoting Max. The whole Federal Reserve Bank itself is a vestige of the Bank of England. You know, Ben Franklin said that one of the primary reasons there was a Declaration of Independence was for the colonies to escape the Bank of England. The Bank of England and its central banking functionality and the way it oppressed the colonies through its fiat money system was one of the reasons why in the Constitution it says no money shall be traded except gold and silver. This is what the founders recognized would be the way to defeat the central bankers. Then in 1913, after several failed attempts, finally, the Federal Reserve Bank was created in the U.S., which is really just an extension of the Bank of England and the European Central Bank and the Bank of International Settlement and the old world monarchs in Europe. And as of 1913, America started to slip back into a monarchy, and now after the Bush years, really, the U.S. is under the thumb of an entrenched oligopoly or monarchy or aristocracy, who's basically just taking all the wealth that they possibly can out of the system. Facts. And the population, of course, is left in a very, very bad position. And they're not really sure what exactly is going on. And I said they've been in a bit of a daze, and they are now finally waking up to this. So it'll be interesting to see how that energy vents. And here's the time stamp. 2011, Max way ahead of his time. So you have a little insights of the Bank of England and the evildoers, behind the closed doors. But anyways, according to Michael Saylor, co-founder of Strategy, the Bank of England may soon be adding the Bitcoin to the reserves. Coming full circle. He made the comment during the Bitcoin 2025 Vegas conference where Reform's UK leader Nigel spoke about his party's new plan, which is actually outlined here in this clip, in which Michael Saylor posted with the text, the Bank of England on the brink of buying the Bitcoin, the doing. He said Reform UK wants the Bank of England to hold the Bitcoin digital reserve. He also introduced a bill that would cut the capital gains tax on crypto from 24% to 10%, I dare say, 0% taxes on all of crypto transactions. Can I get an amen? Saylor described Bitcoin as the ultimate form of capital. He said investors should think about moving money out of regular currencies and bonds into crypto. His firm's Strategy has been buying Bitcoin for years, since 2020, to be exact. First publicly traded company to put a biddy on the balance sheet. And based on the reports, U.S. regulators now allow the banks to hold and trade the crypto. That makes it more likely that the big institutions will get involved. If the Bank of England does buy the biddy, it would mark a big shift. Peter shift, that is. Central banks usually stick to gold or government bonds, so shifting shapeshifters, including even a small slice of the reserves to Bitcoin, would change how the people view the digital coin. So could this be a sign of the times? Shit out Nipinator making plenty of sounds in his sleep right now. You can probably hear, but you're sleeping on the job, Nip. You're sleeping on the job. Reform UK has opened up the crypto donations, making it the first UK party to do so. Farage said the banks must not close accounts for people who buy or sell crypto. He suggested allowing taxpayers to pay their bills in Bitcoin. The proposed crypto asset digital finance bill would set the new rules to protect the crypto users and encourage firms to offer crypto services. And we also have Reform UK chairman said cutting crypto taxes could bring rich entrepreneurs back to Britain. But I'm not holding my breath. I expect nothing pro-positive coming from the UK regarding Bitcoin, but I digress. He pointed out a lot of the wealthy people leave for places with the lower taxes on digital assets. And Puerto Rico, Bitcoin country El Salvador, great examples of that, but you guys already know. Reports disclose that Reform UK wants to drop capital gains tax on crypto from 24 down to 10%. Now, Trump is entertaining 0% capital gains tax, as his sons have been talking about. I hope that comes into fruition during his presidency. Let me know if you'd like to see that from the POTUS. Now, if companies see that they can keep more profits, they might stay or move here. That can lead to more jobs and more tech startups. But critics warn that cutting taxes could leave the government in a hole. I disagree there. In turn, the Treasury might have to find money elsewhere. Exactly. There's so much wasted money from the government. You guys already know. But let me know your thoughts regarding the Bank of England actually adopting Bitcoin as per Michael Saylor's prediction here. Bank of England on the brink of buying. Pre-low biddy going up. Forever Laura. Let me know your thoughts on what we're going to do right now. Gift 10 memberships of the channel on behalf of Crypto News Alerts. We already gifted 11 of them. Thanks to Surge, Oracle, and Shandy. 10 more incoming. So let's freaking do it.